Hey everyone, Anthony here, founder of Quantum. And first, I just want to say this genuinely that it is such an honor and a pleasure to serve you and to share this with you. The goal actually of the series is simple to give you a clear and practical understanding of how deal flow actually works long before transactions and advisors and even negotiations ever enter the picture. And if you find this kind of content useful, thoughtful, and grounded, okay, I'd really appreciate it if you made the decision in liking this video, okay, and commenting below your thoughts, okay, and subscribe for more content such as this. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, let's set the context here. When people talk initially about deal flow, they usually talk about value. They talk about sending more emails, running more outreach campaigns, and driving more inbound, right? And while that might sound logical, if we're talking in the world, and since we are talking in the world of M&A or mergers and acquisitions, volume is rarely the real problem. The real problem is visibility. Specifically, who firms can actually see and who they cannot. Most high quality businesses are not actively for sale, right? They're not listed anywhere. They're not calling advisors. They're not responding to mass outreach neither. Instead, they exist in a middle state. They're operating normally, but they're also quietly thinking about what's next. And because they're not officially in market, most firms never encounter them. Long before a deal exists, businesses generally fall into a few early stage situations. Now, these aren't deal stages, they're, I would call, decision stages. Understanding this is critical because this is where real origination takes place. Now, the first group is owners approaching some kind of transition. That could be retirement. That could be succession uncertainty. That could also be lifestyle changes or simply stepping back after years of operating. They're not necessarily ready to sell, but they're definitely thinking about it. The challenge is that most of these owners don't know how to begin the actual conversation. They are, in fact, unsure on who to trust, what selling even looks like, or whether now is the right time. So, what do? They wait. The second group is companies quietly exploring, um, 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 companies quietly exploring, I would say, growth, right? They're not they're not looking to exit, but they may be looking for capital. They may be looking for a strategic partner or an operational support to get to that next level in their business. But they're not ready for formal processes or advisors and to have those type of conversations as of yet, or even public discussions. So again, they stay quiet. The third group is the most overlooked and often the most valuable. These are strong companies that already meet acquisition criteria, but don't realize firms are actively looking for businesses like theirs. They're focused on running the business. They're not thinking in terms of exits or transactions at all. And because no one has ever framed the opportunity um, for them in, I would say, properly, they remain invisible. This is where most untapped deal flow potential actually lives. Now, here's where the disconnect happens. Traditional sourcing methods were never designed for this particular stage. Cold outreach is too generic to reach people who are not ready. Referrals are inconsistent and relationship dependent. Inbound only captures businesses that are already visible. So firms end up competing over the same limited but obvious opportunities, while the majority of the market remains untouched. So you may say, Anthony, okay, now that we have heard all of this, okay, where do you come in at? What's the solving of this problem? So quantum exists specifically to operate in this pre-transaction space. We're not convincing anyone to sell. We're not advising on strategy. And we're definitely not negotiating any deals, okay? Our role is much earlier than that, okay? Which makes life a lot easier for those that are in the M&A field. We create structured visibility where no one exists, okay? Practically speaking, this means translating acquisition criteria into clear qualification logic. That logic governs, okay? It governs how conversations begin. It governs how readiness is assessed and how alignment is determined. We focus on understanding where a business actually is in its life cycle, whether leadership is open to a conversation, and whether the opportunity truly fits a firm's mandate. Only when those elements are present does an introduction make sense. This is an important distinction. This is not deal making. Deal making happens later with the advisors, with diligence, and with negotiation. What we choose to focus on is deal formation. That's the process of identifying and clarifying and aligning opportunities before they ever actually become deals. When origination is treated as a system, not a numbers game, everything downstream improves. Firms, in fact, see better alignment, internal reviews move faster, and engagement is stronger once advisors step in. The result isn't necessarily more deals only. The result is better ones. In the next video, we'll talk about what qualification actually means and why most firms define it far too late in the process, because finding opportunities is only half the work. Knowing when and when not to is the real advantage. I want to thank you for taking time and watching this video. Do us a favor, if you enjoy content such as this, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for your time.